Good morning, guys. Good morning. Didn't even realize we'd come on. Good morning to each and every one of you, and welcome to FYI. And boy, I'm a little bit behind this morning. Good to have each and every one of you coming in to the live stream this morning for your information, lots of information to share to you guys wherever you're waking up this morning and whatever you're having for breakfast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Beatrice Selby, good to see you. George Hector, a blessed morning to you as well. Good morning, Beatrice Selby. Beatrice says good morning, FYI family, and Tammy Leslie, and I see you, Delia Thomas, Don Bales, and all you beautiful, fantastic folks. Love you joining us from this morning. We are happy. We are so happy and privileged that you guys are here with us, guys. You know, we have it no other way. Good to see you, Don and Tammy, George Hector, Beatrice, who's always here, and Claire, Alexis, Charlie, Richmond is always here as well. And you know, we really trust that you guys are great. We trust that things are well, things are fantastic at your end. Nicola Folite, great to see you, Nicola, and Orindon. Gloria Chester is here, and so a lot of folks joining us, guys. It's such a privilege to have you all here. Gloria and Julie, good to have you, June. Yolanda Thomas, good to have you, Yolanda. Great to have each and every one of you here, guys. Lots on the morning paper. If you want to point out a couple of things to you guys, then we got some stuff doing internationally, regionally, and in the 592. And then we got a biggest few. And Langalal, and the voting beds on the list, the voting dead, deads on the list, folks, the voting dead. We got a lot to share with you folks. Good to see you, Yolanda. She says, she said, I Dehi. I'm trying to get it right. I Dehi. David Williams, great to see you as well, guys. Wherever you're joining us from, share the live for us, share our broadcast, smash that emoji button, folks. That emoji button that shows all the faces. Smash that for us. Let us know how you guys are feeling this morning. Perhaps even include what you guys are having for breakfast. We'd love to know. Pinky Corn, Gladstone Matthews. We'd love to know how you guys are doing and what you guys are having for breakfast. What perhaps you're reading. What perhaps you're reading. What are some of the headlines making the newspapers at your end. We're going to get to that in short order. Folks, good to see George joining us and Donna McDonough. Good to see Oren Don is here too, and I see also Don Baines is here, and I see Renal Warren, Kyle McPherson, and all you beautiful, wonderful folks join us. How can we ask for more? How can we ask for anything less? Great to see each and every one of you guys. Joyce Carter, I see Candy Indigit. Can you say I know we should foot short? Folks, quite a few things to get to. Believe it or not, quite a few things we have to get to this morning. Lots happening whether locally or internationally. Folks are, as we come in this morning, we are greeting each other at our end. We said it's a good thing just to wake up above ground. Some people don't make it. So we have enough to be thankful for. Everything might not be going your way. You have enough money, your spouse, or you. Sometimes the problem is you. Sometimes the problem is you. Joycelyn Williams and all the other guys. Sometimes the problem is us. Where's the problem? It's true. It's true. Sometimes where's the problem? But good to have each and every one. Can we sometimes use the problem? It's not Marky. Sometimes use the problem. Hope we give Marky a proper body. Sometimes use the problems. The guys are so excited and just dropping things on us there. They're so excited to come in, just dropping things in our head like nothing. Just put-ups, graphic in your face. But good to have you guys there. We know you all won't treat us like that. You all be gentle with us. It's your first time. You'll be gentle with us. Margaret Nelson and Siobhan McDonald and all the other guys who joining us this morning. It's back to be in familiar surroundings. And good to have each and every one of you with us, guys. Yolanda Thomas, Cameron Legit, Siobhan McDonald, good to have you, Oren Don, Renella Garnett, and all the other folks who are joining us this morning. It's such a privilege. It's such an immense privilege to have you wonderful, beautiful folks with us. Donna, good to see you, Donna. All the other guys. Yep, first things first up, guys, we got a couple of things happening in the morning pipers. In the morning pipers, we think you folks ought to know about, and we're going to holler at you guys with those things. We got a couple of things happening in the morning pipers. The guy says that they are ready. Your neighbor, the Venezuelans, they're trying to ask the World Court the National Court of Justice to knock out the application. Well, we have returned the favor. You know, knock out the application because them boys saying the British, the UK is the proper party. We don't have local standard. We don't have standing in the matter. The UK should be the proper party to bring this matter before the ICJ, the World Court. Well, Guyana has filed its papers to knock out their foolish, silly notion. So all the Venezuelans watching us, especially on Twitter, we've got some real trolls, you know, from Venezuela on Twitter. Venezuela's real. Nothing will change that. Right? It always was and it always will be ours. Good Venezuelans. It's real. That's the cables we own. Y'all get me vexed. We come and take real Venezuela too. Don't come when we follow with that. It's ours. So they have filed a motion for the ICJ to hit out our application, saying that the UK, Britain, is the proper party, that we gotta say in the matter. We gotta say the matter. Well, we've now filed an application to knock out their own. I don't know if you guys have that for us. Right? To knock out theirs. That's silly. Right? Silly. But you know, they didn't even want to come to the court. They didn't even want to come to the court. And now they come. It's Bill Worries, Gladstone Matthews, or Don Cook, or their son, Bill Warner. It's very serious. It's silly season. Now that they come, it's all kind of story you're hearing. It's all kind of story you're hearing as them boys come. But we're following this, folks, and we're following a couple other things as well. We think you guys ought to know about. And they're telling us here also that this very sad case of the gruesome murder of Kelly Charlotte in Linden, the young teacher in Linden, that the murder suspect, Weston Baines, was found hanging in an abandoned home yesterday. Weston Baines, did I get it right? Weston, yes. Weston Baines, the suspected murderer of young Kelly Charlotte, was found hanging in a home yesterday. I think it was said also in the report that his father was the one who made the discovery and alerted police. Again, the headline at this hour is that a Linden teacher murder suspect, Weston Baines, found dead, hung himself, apparently, in a house abandoned in Linden, the mining town, Region 10, folks. Oh, but this is an extremely sad case. And, you know, we've reported here before that the teacher, it is said, had ended a relationship with Mr. Baines, and something resulting from that, an argument and all of that, and there was a child involved. He had returned the child on Sunday to her after spending the day with him, and in the process of doing that, stabbed her several times about her body, and she died in a home. And we see this too often, much too often, and that is why you have to send a very, very strong signal that this kind of action and similar action towards women and girls is not going to be tolerated. And we're coming into a season of 60 days of activism against violence against gender-based violence, especially violence against women and girls. And you're going to hear a lot of talk. Then after that, you're going to see more O.C. Rogers play out, more Nigel Daniels play out, more Kwame McCoy's play out, and silence from some very key people who are going to be talking a lot in the coming days. But I can be right here, and we're going to be right here to call them out. We are going to be right here to call out the hypocrisy when they start how much they love women and how much they're standing in the defense of women and girls. We're going to be right here to call them out. Our thoughts and prayers, of course, go to the Linden community. These hours takes a toll on the community and even more so on the families, and they're going to need lots of love and support of all kinds to get through this. Thoughts and prayers go to them. Thoughts and prayers go to them. Minister of Education is telling us, guys, that May 3rd and 4th of next year, 2023, NGSA 2023 So I know you guys are preparing the young ones. I had my fair share of this boy. You see on the plane, am I right pass? Like that. It's like some of y'all go to Cherry Jack International. You leave it, you throw a brick behind you, you throw it inside, say done with that. That was me in NGSA. You know, I done with that. I started my son John Pierre. He's now in high school. Yeah. From what year was that? Grade 6 or grade 5? You had to go to lessons for grade 6 very early. You know, try to give him. Every parent tries to give their children one advantage they can. We started him very early with the grade 6 work. And every Saturday, the chore was to drive him over to the west side. They had a good teacher was recommended there. And every Saturday, you drive him, you come back. Sometimes you waited because you have the time. You drive, you come back, you pick up, you drop off, school lessons and all manner of things, and the homework in the evenings. I understand. I had 2 full years of that. You know, full 2 years of that. I understand that fully well. So, guys, I understand. Some of y'all, right? See, I'll fall asleep at work and so I say, where's the child? Y'all think it's only when the small stuff, you have to leave it nights? Well, all kind of stages. I've been there. Coming back, circling back, yo. Circling back. So I understand. But next year is it. So, you know, you start them from now. Starting from now, you know. We're going to be full thing. Little by little. May are those the dates, guys? May 3rd and 4th, let me make sure you give valid, credible information. Yes, May 3rd and 4th, 2023. Right? Mix it. Give them a good mix. Give them a good mix of the academics and sports and recreation and so forth. Give them a good blend. And you will see them just coming to their own like that. Give them a good blend, folks. Study them, love them, care them, you know, don't abuse them, and you can see, you know, they'll come back to the benefit. And a blessing to you, that's the good book say. Can't deny that. The good book says that children are a heritage from the Father, like arrows in the hands of a mighty warrior. Blessed is the man whose crib is full of them. Yeah, I remember that one. So the school days come back. That's the story, you know. You missed Bible study last week, you catch it here now. Ingrid Crawford, good to see you. Gail Alicott, blessed is the man whose crib is full of them. If you don't like it, folks, God shows you need to hear one scripture. You could. We have no apologies. Blessed is the man whose crib is full of them. Nigel Polydor, good to see you, and Greg Anderson and all the other folks, Facebook user, Gilali copying with Crawford. I see the guys are preempting us there, preempting us and saying, don't greet y'all, just tell people when the front page was making the news. You see, the presumptuous, and they said, you know, very, very presumptuous. What shall they get in no breakfast this morning? What shall they get in no breakfast? Folks, the New Building Society, the NBS, they're telling us that you can pay your mortgage now via MMG. I'm happy about this. You know, I'm very happy about this. This robbing wrong of cash and so on, and then buys robbing wrong so wantonly. With impunity. Still waiting for that crime prevention plan from the administration. Still waiting for that crime prevention plan from the administration. We still hold it with a holding pattern. So before we get there, you know, this is a good way. It's not perhaps the primary reason why this facility is available, for convenience. For convenience and also for efficiency. You're going to give us a tad more like we're going to just have a little outage. Yeah, for convenience and for efficiency, it's a good way. Listen, logging a lot of cash. One of the things I have heard about the COVID period, and it's a real missed opportunity for the regime we have, was a missed opportunity. You have to go village to village. People dragging around suitcases of money under police guard. And some of the police guard didn't see even some of the same folks that catching all the money. As some of the auditor generals reported, hundreds of millions missing from these cash grant schemes. That's what they were, schemes and Ponzi schemes. hundreds of millions, they say, all the security they had, they see that. And what we should have been encouraging is for people to get a bank card, a cash card. They're going to push, and you get a cash transfer, $1 million a month, thanks to oil and gas. You get a cash transfer. We log you wrong. Right? You have to write down your name and you get a pink slip. We should have been pushing that simultaneously. You go, you register with your local bank in the area, and you get a card, and you can do what you got to do. This, you're dragging around suitcases of money. We're so primitive. We're so primitive. My aunt told me, just get me check in the mail. I think they started in the US from 600 US, and then I think they all went up to about 1,200 US. 200 and something thousand cash. COVID grant to 1,200 plus 1,400 US. Nice time, boy. So we are getting good. I get a little remittances too, so I'm not going to argue, but it was a missed opportunity. And so I'm happy that NDS has announced that you can now pay by LNG. And I hope more, I wish that more businesses would accept features like MMG or a bank card. And we must make it easy for them to access the facility that they can offer customers. You know, easy for them to access the facility that they can offer to customers. I still think not to knock G20 by any means, who've been very kind to us. But I think signing up for even LNG like tedious. I could sign up for Netflix, sign up for Cash App, sign up for so many other things. PayPal, please. We have to make it very simple. Right? The only thing left for the actual is a stool sample and a blood sample. But it's a convenient method of doing business, a convenient way to do business. Kudos to the new building societies. Kudos to the new building society for adding this feature so the customers can be more efficient, folks, and safe as well. Efficient and safe. So I think that's it. That's it for the morning papers. And do let us know some of the headlines. By your end, Gwyneth and Nicole Daniels, Dolly Anderson Linton, Barbara and Karen McPherson, do let us know some of the things happening at your end. Folks, internationally, got some things brewing. We got some things brewing internationally, folks. We got some things brewing. Yep, they're telling us Canada. This is good news. International news, good news for the region as well. Canada has just contributed 11 million US to PAHO's initiative for regional vaccines. It comes to benefit Latin America and the Caribbean. 11 million US. They're looking to manufacture vaccines in the region. That's going to help us tremendously, like when you have the next pandemic. And what will come? You think COVID is it? You think COVID is it? Folks, is a future of pandemic. So I was elated personally when I saw that Canada has made this foray into this venture of contributing 11 million US dollars to regional vaccines, because you and I are going to come to benefit. You and I, you know, COVID taught us a lot. When the big countries produce the vaccines by them, they hold it for their population. And then we get the grums. You will understand clearly. Every Guyanese will understand what grums is. Folks, we understand, some of you, especially in the diaspora, who watch us. And you got a spouse who's non-Guyanese, you got to be the dictionary for your spouse. You got to be the dictionary to your spouse. Because they ask you what jagabat means, what crumbs means. And you got to now, you know, define all of this stuff to them. Thank you for your help. And thanks to Canada as well, you know, for helping in this initiative, because it's going to come to help the region tremendously. We have a long wait for some COVID vaccines, a long wait, because again, the big countries, they reserve a lot for their population, perhaps, but they don't even need in surplus. And then the extras come to us. So this is a good initiative in terms of vaccine manufacturing in the region. I don't know if we got the personnel to help manufacture some of these vaccines locally. I'm frightened. We can't even get no clean water through the tap. I'm frightened. I'd frighten. I'd be very much afraid. But I want to say kudos to Canada for helping in this regard because we're going to benefit, folks. You and I and our kids are going to benefit tremendously. Regionally, folks, they got a couple of things going. Regionally, Bolsonaro is having it. Bolsonaro is not having it. There's so much Trump we see in Bolsonaro. Jair Bolsonaro, the former president of Brazil. So much of Trump we see in Bolsonaro. Bolsonaro said, I'm taking this result just up. He's contesting the result of the last election that occurred in Brazil about a week or two ago. Their elections commission has already certified the results. So the pundits are saying it's an uphill task for Jair. It's an uphill task for him. But he's still going ahead. He's still going ahead. He said he likes some of the returns. He likes some of the, how some of the polling places operated. So they're contesting. That's what happens in democratic countries. You have an election, you got the facility, the process to contend, to contest the election results, and you do so. And he is doing so, but they tell him, I think according to their rules, you have a very short window to present an audit what you have found, and so they're in the process of doing that. Basically, they have their own elections petition right next door. Right next door, they have their own elections petitions battle that they're going through. And again, Jair Bolsonaro, the former president of Brazil, he's making these claims. In the last election, they have some rigging. And we can talk about some rigging for the big issue. We're going to talk about some rigging for the big issue, but then we get into the 592, folks. We're going to circle back. We got a segment named Circle Back. Folks, share the light as you come on. Smash that emoji button first. We have a whole section named Circle Back. The Circle Back segment. As we circle back to this issue we covered last evening of Maureen McCalman, whose mother was 89. In January, she was 79 in January. She turned 80 in September. On September 2nd. I know the whole family story. She wants justice for her mother, who's still alive, by the way, because I see lots of persons when we showed the video last night was presuming, thanks guys, that her mother had passed, her mother Ivy Fraser. Maureen McCalman wants justice for her mother. Her mother had a hernia problem and did a surgery at Georgetown Public Hospital and has had several complications from that surgery, of which Maureen blames the GPHC. From a hernia problem that they say was solved, they ended up stitching back. This 89-year-old woman twice already, and she was scheduled for a third stitching because it keeps getting worse all the time. Where Ivy Fraser's navel should be is a huge hole. And basically, folks, they're waiting for her to die. In perhaps the wealthiest country per capita in the world, healthcare is so poor from a simple hernia surgery. What in lots of other places is a routine surgery. There's a gaping hole in Ivy Fraser's stomach. And the authorities have basically said, there's nothing more we can do. And they wait now, unless there's an intervention from the himself, they wait now just for Ivy to die. There's healthcare in Guyana in 2022. Here's her daughter's story.
My mother name is Ivy Fraser, originate from Region 1. On February 14, she had a surgery. And after the surgery, they discharged her like 2 weeks. After from the hospital, she come home. She spent 2 days home. I took her back the Monday. When I go back there, they said that the cut get affected. They open up the cut, keep her for another 2 weeks there. They keep her for the 2 weeks, and then they discharge her home. The doctor called me and showed me how to clean the cut. I come home, I did so. Anyway, I carry her back to the clinic like twice. She then left and go home to Region 1. On August 4th, she come back. When she come back here, I go to the hospital, I meet her. The doctor check her, send her home the same night. Tell me to carry her back the Monday. Now on Monday she go back. When she go back there, they stitch this cut. An old cut from since February, they stitch it. When she come home like the next day, the same night the thing open back. She go back again and they did stitch it again. On that time, like when they try to stitch it, they damage her intestine. They never tell me anything. They never tell us anything that, well, this intestine damage or whatever the case may be. I asked the doctor say, I'm not giving her the right stuff to eat. I have to give her like 2 by leg, one morning, one afternoon. Give her steamed greens, fish, no chicken. I said, okay. I gave her all of that. They sent me to buy a building. It cost $12,000. I don't know how could a pensioner money buy a building that costs $12,000. Okay. She went back again. All they did is just checking this cut and saying that you're doing a good job. Excuse me. You're doing a good job. And continue doing a good job and they can bring her back. So when I look and I saw the feces coming out from there, me and my daughter had a discussion and I said that girl, this one looking nice. Let me go and carry mommy to see a private doctor. We went there. Carry her to Mercy. When we go to Mercy and we do an ultrasound, it come out that her intestine damaged. Okay, the doctor said $550,000 when he gave us the quotation to do the surgery. I go back and I talk with him. He said, Granny is too old to do another surgery. Is luck and a chance, is a risk. So I said, okay. The feces keep coming. I just get like confused. I don't know what to do. I took her to the 7 days hospital. When I took her there, Dr. McCune see her. He gave me a referral, send me back to Dr. Mahadio. When I go there, I reach up with the same nurses. They say, oh, I know the patient. Bring her back on Monday. When I do carry her back, is that they just look at the cut and say, oh, you're doing a good job. Continue doing the job. Miss Duncan, not a dressing, not a saline, not a plaster, not a tablet. You hear? I got to go in my pocket. If not me, my father. Right now, I'm not working. I had to stay home now to look after her. When I look at her condition now, she just keep. I know that she wouldn't be with me. Like I say, I gave her like maybe before Christmas because of her condition. But this thing grieving me because you know why? When they're ready and they got election, you hear? They're going to the Region 1 and going to these Amerindian people and, you know, they encourage them, oh, you're going to get a good government, you can do it. Promising them a lot of things. You understand? Now, if my mother passed away, now where I am getting money to say, well, okay, I can plan to do this or take her body home back, where I'm heading for. It hurting me, it grieving me because at that times when I go in there to clean my mother, nobody don't know how I just feel. It just hurt me bad. Sometimes I cry and her word to me, she just tell me, don't cry. Pray for me. It hurting me, it tear me apart. Even to my father, I know that my father is not happy. You know, he's worried because a couple days ago I checked his pressure was high. But so we got to live with it. We got to live with it. Look, this afternoon, I need plaster for her. We got to get saline. Where are we getting the money from? So these things are what get me frustrated. I say, look, somebody call me and tell me look, why you don't get Mr. Duncan? I said, I don't have any number for him. And they send over the number to me. They say, call him. An area problem. If you want, you could go in there. I could take you in there to have a look at her. Sometimes just to bring her to sit down, and she can't sit down too long. Just bring her out, and then you got to take her back in. This time she had hernia. I never lucky to see back Dr. Lee. I never put my eyes back on him. Every time you go there, you see a different doctor. I can't see why they're treating people like that. To me, let me tell you how I feel exactly. Like when they look at my mother, that's probably they saying that, you know, she done live, she's 80, and it's time for her to die. So they put her there, you know. They don't business, they don't care. But that is my loved one. That is my mother, and I love her. That's how I feel. Because probably she done big already, so what are you gonna do? Today, you know, I was to carry she back for the stitch up this thing. Oh, you stitching up the whole thing is just putting she on the more pain. The last time she go there was last week Monday. She was to go back today for pulling the cut now, for the stitch it now, to put the bag on it. They gave us the bag. They didn't show us how to use the bag. The wound is too big for the bag. So when you put the bag there, the feces escaping. So now for we to get that done there, they said bring her back, and they're going to small the cut for the bag to fit there. Now, if you see the condition of that cut around there, the plaster peel it out. Skin out the skin. So I won't carry she back now for the stitch though and put you on the more pain. No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't. It's just me and a brother. Two of us alone. The health care is okay. I have some cousins, they would help me. Like with gauze, sometimes plaster, saline, you know. Sometimes they come to visit her, they might give her a money. She would take it and, you know, buy her stuff. You understand? Last night I was feeling so hurt yesterday. That's when I go and I see my mother condition. It breaks me. I just kneel and I say, Lord, I need your help. Strengthen me. I eventually end up putting something on Facebook. Some people start making comments. This girl here, I know her from Matches Ridge. So we talked last night, and she said she has something. She will bring it up. She will come and visit them. When I went to Dr. McCune told me, he said, Maureen, he said, don't do no other surgery for anti-IV. He said, I'm going to give you a letter. He said, they damage it, let them fix it. When I get back there, the doctor said, tell me, we cannot do anything for Granny. You need to take her home, give her home caring, show her love, and you could bring her back. And they give me a clinic date to bring her back. And that was it. Well, they tell me, son, because they cannot do anything more. You understand? And they say because of our age, she cannot do no other surgery. If we wanted, that we, the sibling and the father, got to sign a paper and give them the consent to do it. So in case she died, we give them the consent. So the home care, what they tell me now is to bring her home and care her. So whenever she passed away, that is why I assume the home caring and show her love. Just heal this wound or stop this feces from coming. Sometime in the night, she would call out to us and say, well, she messed up, I got to come and change her. It's not nothing easy. The builder is $12,000. Now, I'm not working. I put it this way. I said, look, I can't work and have her home here sick. I got to look her. So I come off my job to be with her home. Because it's just me and a daughter. When my daughter ready to go out, I got to stay with her. When I ready to go, my daughter got to be home with her. So there is nothing. Yesterday, I reached a doctor. When I coming out, I reached a doctor that used to look at her, and I had a word with him. I said, doctor, go there. So you remember me? He said, no. I said, I'm Ivy daughter. And I show him the picture. I said, this is what y'all have done to my mother. He said, oh, bring her back tomorrow. I said, what I am bringing her back for yeah, stitch her up and finish with her there. I didn't care about. At least I know better could be done. You understand? Because, okay, as a patient, if you go there, I know that doctors supposed to do their job. They're supposed to, okay, look, for instance, a day my daughter drive up to Elmore Health Center to get some dressing. You know what they told her? To bring her. How could I got to pay a taxi from here to care her every day? The couple guys that they gave her is just one cleaning. Just one cleaning, and it's finished. And it gets bigger than that now. That's her tummy here. She doesn't have neighbor.
McCallum told us that she reached out to the Ministry of American Affairs to see what help she could get in terms of bringing some assistance to her mother. She said she didn't get a chance to see the minister, but she was told by staff there that if her mother dies, they're going to help with the funeral. Yeah. Maureen McCalmont talking to us about the health of her mother after her hernia surgery at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. Her mother, Ivy Fraser. Folks, do you have a story for us? We want to hear from you. You have a story for us. We want to hear from you. Please make contact with us. 627-6963. Send us a voice note. Send us a message on WhatsApp at 627-6963. You have a story for us? Please do let us know. 627-6963. And folks, if you have any legal needs, good folks, we want you guys to go down there and check out Alistair Collins' firm. Check out the Alistair Collins firm. You need a JP, you need a commissioner to oaths and affidavits, you need a justice of the peace, you got some affidavits work to be done, you got some tenancy agreement to get done. Whatever are your legal needs, including if you might need a lawyer too. The Alistair Collins firm, there at Callion Mall, Lamaha Street, between Camp and Waterloo Street. The Callion Mall, Lamaha Street, between Camp and Waterloo Street. Make contact with Alistair Collins. Folks, he's going to give you the hookup. We trust Alistair. We trust the firm. Whatever your legal needs are, the Alistair Collins firm is going to help you guys out. There are the numbers. Callion Mall, folks, Lamaha Street, between Camp and Waterloo. We got some space for you guys too. Right there. Your business, your product, your service. You have an event, folks. Right there is your ad space. 627-6963 is the number you guys are going to want to call. You want to get your ad shown to the people who matter. 627-6963. Right there, the ad space. Right there, folks. 627-6963. Also going, folks, back to regular programming. Also going, the police have arrested some suspects in the killing of this Lane Avenue man, Dexter McFarlane. We told you about it. Rival gangs had a shootout on Lane Avenue. An innocent bystander, Dexter McFarlane, was caught in the crossfire. You know the term stray bullet? Dexter McFarlane got hit. Chevrolet Patterson, the gentleman you see here, he's one of the suspects who was arrested. Chevrolet Patterson. The other suspect who was arrested is a teenager. The police also want Andrew Ridley, and they put out a wanted bulletin for him. Andrew Ridley, in relation and in connection to the killing of Dexter McFarlane of Lane Avenue. Dexter family wants justice for him. They're asking for justice. Innocent bystander caught in the crossfire of rivaling gangs. Last evening we showed you this policeman who was in a ruckus, a dust up, a brawl with some motorists. Do you have the video? I think we might have it. Folks, the police have apprehended teenagers who was caught in that brawl with the policeman. Here is that video. Police have now arrested two teenagers, one Quincy King and Christopher Abrams, for the assault on that police constable. Christopher Abrams and Quincy King. Folks, if you want to assault officers like that, you got to prepare for the consequences. Dire consequences too. And even 18, Quincy King allegedly assaulted a police officer. What Quincy can do at 36? You see? 18 years old, and he's confronting the law in this violent manner. Quincy King and Christopher Abrams. Well, the law can have its way now. The law will run its course. Fortunately or unfortunately, the law is going to run its course. Folks, if they can't do the time, don't do the crime. We hope Quincy King and Christopher Abrams learn the lesson. We hope so. Region 6, big things happening. Big things happening in Region 6. 10 million in ganja. Found at number 78 village. See damn, folks, there's never us planting this, you know. Who planted all this ganja in Region 6? This is about the 4th instance where I see and read and share with you guys. Millions in ganja being found in Region 6. Them boys planting more than clear up the side. Them boys planting a different kind of green gold. In Babis, I know Rastafarians are going to because of land. You can plant 10 million in ganja. 78, number 78 village, Sidam, $10 million worth. They said the detectives there called the area and found the ganja, found the marijuana. We know the legal limit now. Well, I should say the legal limit. The limit is you can have 30 grams, but you can give you counseling and community service. If you get fined with 30 grams, you're going to escape jail, but you can do counseling and you'll do some community time. But 10 million, $10 million worth of ganja. Right? Folks, this is Region 6, you know. Number 78 village. Who planted the ganja that side there? You see this life here? Right? That's a big fish. We're going to have to be man who got, you know, 3 ounce. Well, 2 ounce now is 56 grams, I think. You know, 3 grams, 15 grams, 30 grams. But I didn't claim any 10 million. The 10 million folks ain't got no owners at all. Now, you remember that body that was found in Big Dam? On the bridge in Big Dam? Well, that body has now been identified. The body has now been identified as Abdul Shahid Khan. Abdul Shahid Khan. The owner of that establishment, Mr. Gomez, said that a foul stench kept coming at them for about a week before the body was discovered. So he washed them his yard, all kinds of detergent, vim and what do you call it, purple lavender, lime McCall, all kinds of detergents and so on they use. But the scent only kept getting stronger. And then they found the source of the stench. And when they lift up some boards by his bridge, they discover a body. And now that body has been identified as Abdul Shahid Khan. Abdul Shahid Khan. And they're still trying to determine what exactly happened there and how that body got onto that bridge. That's still up for determination. But Abdul Shahid Khan, his body was discovered there at the premises on Brick Dam. The devil has been found guilty of raping a girl at knife point. You heard me right, the devil. That's the fellas calling him. You ever watch them names people call you? Since I was young, I tell people very early. My parents don't waste time naming me. I got name. Don't call me. Don't call him. Don't come around with fun with, don't call him. The devil, they say, found guilty of raping a girl at knife point. He was 28 at the time, he's now 33. And his name, his given name, you're gonna watch the names, I tell you that if you open. Rundle Chappell, also known as Devil. See? People call you all the log, you know, you start believing. You start acting it out. And he's going to be sentenced shortly. He said he broke into the teen's home. She was 15 years at the time. Broke into her home and raped her at knife point. The jury came back just yesterday with a unanimous verdict. Guilty, the devil. I swear to God, some people, the devil is whispering in the ears, go do X, go do Y, and this. Listen and carry it out. By his name, they call him devil. You better watch, I beg you all, watch the names that people calling you. Watch it. EPA, we've been talking about the EPA for a long time. The EPA, folks, having a spill, oil spill, ExxonMobil. They're telling us they're still to complete the report and what went wrong, what caused this spill. EPA different. EPA different. Everybody knows EPA has been effectively neutralized by this government. That's the bidding of the administration. Doesn't have professional legs to stand on. The EPA. So it's a little surprise. It's about a month, 2 months later, and this probe is still outstanding. The report is still outstanding. EPA. There has been a terrible situation here, you know. EPA should be an independent agency, but it functions at the behest of the administration. It does the bidding, takes instructions, who to give what to, who to withhold what from. The EPA got to do much, much better. It is to really and truly safeguard the interests of Guyanese on environmental issues. Still holding for that. Imagine if you had a big spill, a big oil spill. Imagine how long that would take. Folks, we're listening now to program time. The biggest few, the voting deads. Let me write a little extra. The voting deads of the list. The voting deads of the list. Well, you know, there's been some running letters in the press between Vincent Alexander, Sherwood Lowe, and Alan on the voters list and the deads, the deads of the list. We put S on it. The deads of the list. There's plenty of them. How do you get them off? Vincent Alexander says, but I know, don't like biometrics. We want biometrics. He has refused biometrics. Well, Nandlal responded in this morning's paper. Here's what he said, folks, as we get into this discussion on the voting deads on the list and those who are overseas and on the list. Nandlal says, I challenge Messieurs Lowe and Alexander to prove to the public a single case of the fraud they allege occurred in the elections. Now, this is interesting. This is interesting. I'll tell you why in a second. He goes on to say in this letter to the editor, I gather that from his letter, this is Alexander's letter, of November 7th, Mr. Alexander proffered proposals regarding the use of biometric fingerprint identifications at the place of poll. His letter ends with the following. In reference to me, why is he so fiercely opposing the fingerprint identification at the place of poll? This is Vincent to Nandlal. Nandlal says, any able reader will confirm that I wrote not a line in my exchange with Mr. Alexander on biometrics of any type. I am therefore at a loss in understanding from whence Mr. Alexander discerned my fierce opposition to the same. So, he's the Attorney General, the custodian of the Constitution, and all those lofty things. So he opposed biometrics, at least based on what he's saying here. He's not in opposition to biometrics. But yet we're talking about biometrics being part of the way we could get the dead of the voters list. Right? Of which we could get the dead. It's one of the ways. You scan your eye, you scan your fingerprint. Recently, folks, we sat down with Commissioner Vincent Alexander. And we asked him, why is the PPP so opposed? Why is the PPP so opposed to cleaning the voters list? And here's what he told us.
I think what's important to note in the first instance, that no right-thinking person can argue our list does not have names that should not be there. For the simple reason, any Guyanese who's present in Guyana at the time of registration is entitled to be registered. As a consequence of that, thousands, literally thousands of Guyanese between 2008 and present have been present in the country at the time of registration and would have left. So nobody can question that. And in fact, the Constitution gives them the right to register. And some people argue that case. So we know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that there are thousands of persons on that list who would have left Guyana. We also can conclude, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that thousands of those persons died overseas. So let's not get involved with who's come back and who hasn't come. The fact is that thousands would have died overseas and are therefore not eligible persons to vote. They don't have any right any longer to be on the list, but they are on the list. However, the judgment of the Chief Justice suggests you can't take names off of the list, period. So this is a register of registrants. So Guyana will have infinite register of registrants. And she went on to suggest that you can't take the names off of the voters list, which is a subset of the register of registrants. It is extracted from the register of registrants of all the persons over the age of 18. So inevitably, your voters list ends up with these dead persons on it. And we know for a fact that persons who are overseas, not necessarily dead, but overseas, were voted for. So that to use biometrics is to ensure that no one can vote for any of those dead persons. Nandlal doesn't have a choice but to admit that such persons, the dead, are on the list. It's so logical. It is so factual that he can't deny that anymore. So he now poses the question. Chief Justice say, you can't take people off. We are doing what we can do, and what they are doing is nothing new. They're enshrining in law what has been the practice all the time, and that deals essentially with people who die in Guyana. So we're doing what we can do, and he poses the question, how can you solve the problem? And I say, let us first understand what is the problem. People who are dead and overseas being on the list is not in itself the problem. The problem is people who are dead and who are overseas being voted for. That's the problem. And if people who are dead and or overseas are being voted for, then if you cannot use re-registration to get a new list periodically, therefore dropping them off by that process, you can use biometrics, in which instance they remain on the list, but they can't have others exercise an illegal franchise. They can't have others vote for them. And so you really solve the problem of illicit, fraudulent voting by the biometric mechanism. And that's where we want to take it. So Nandalal has to accept, on one hand, that dead people are on the list, but for whatever reason, he's not going in the direction of a solution. And what he sought to do recently is to say, Alexander, you are partly responsible. GCOM should solve this problem. And I'm saying to him, GCOM is made up of 7 persons. And unfortunately, 4 of the 7, which doesn't include me, do not want to solve the problem. And they're your people, Nandalal. They're your people. Secondly, when I look at...
Yep. 4 to 7 folks, they won't solve the problem. 4 and 7, who are they? Y'all call it the advisor whistler. Clearly from his letter in Stabic News, he said, I oppose, I have never said I oppose biometrics, but he is the custodian of the Constitution. And for people who are talking about rigging, they surely don't want to rule out rigging if they got their people and so impersonation on the list. Now he is asking from the head of that letter, could you pull it back up? The header of his letter to the press, I challenge Messieurs Lowe and Alexander to prove to the public a single case of fraud the alleged occurred in these elections. I thought he would have attacked it the other way. I thought he would have attacked it the other way because I remember quite recently, thanks guys, I remember quite recently, it was Nandalal who was requesting from GCOM the very list we had submitted before of dead people who voted, people who were out of the jurisdiction, and more names were submitted than even were submitted to GCOM initially. And I would have thought that Nandalal would have sent that by now to the GRO. He would have sent it by now to the chief immigration officer, and would have been telling the nation conclusively, not asking us to provide the evidence. This was provided to him. He would have been telling the nation conclusively, look, we have sent these names in GRO, and not one were out of jurisdiction on March 11. Look, we sent these names to the GRO, and not one was dead prior to March 2nd, and their names ticked off. Not one of them. I sent the list to the chief immigration officer, not one were out of jurisdiction, and their name ticked off. I thought it was that he was coming with, not coming to ask us to prove one instance. You asked for the list was supplied to you. Now you want to move the goalpost. What happened to the list? And the deads? The deads on the list. Those who were overseas, what happened to the list that was supplied? GCOM said they gave the list to the Attorney General. What happened to the list? When you all check the list, everybody on the list was overseas or was a wrong list? When you check the list, was anybody dead or was it a wrong list? What happened to the list? But we know that list even got some duplicates on it and so on. The list even got some duplicates on it. It's a dirty list, folks. It's an unclean list. It's an unsanitary list. It has to be cleaned up. And instead, you got to get people in the list. He seems to acknowledge that. He seems to have opposed to biometrics. Then where's the fight? Why are we having this debate? Commissioner Alexander also told us about these duplicates and some other issues with the list. Take a listen.
Because during the recount, we had already received returns from the chief immigration officer specifying that there were duplicates, in the sense that there were people out of the country who were being presented as having voted. What happened then was the chairperson said that matters of this nature are matters for a petition, and therefore, though we have the information, there's no action GCOM could take. I don't agree with her for more than one reason. GCOM refused to do a review of its system, which review could have helped them to understand how these things happen and how they could plug it. That review, they said, we can't do that because those matters are matters for a petition. Certainly not. A petition seeks to determine a result, whether the result was right or whether it was wrong. We were not focusing in the review on whether the result was right or wrong. We were focusing on whether the system has flaws, has gaps that could be plugged. GCOM refused to plug those. And so at the recount, it was put into cold storage. At GCOM, when we called for review, it was put into cold storage. And now that it has been again sent forward at the request of the Attorney General, it seems to be in cold storage. We're not hearing a word. And what was sent forward, incidentally, and this is interesting, is more than what GCOM had. GCOM had a certain number because the chairperson, having sent forward about 2 lists on the contention that this is a matter for a petition, did not send forward all of the lists. All have now gone forward. So we already have those lists which were verified, and we now have other lists to be verified, and we now have again the cold storage facility being reopened and then being apparently stocked in that facility, even as we move towards a local government election with the said list that can be manipulated and have people voted for who are dead or not present.
So folks, the deaths of the list, the deaths, the voting deaths of the list in cold storage, GCOM don't want to deal with the list. Remember, Clarence Singh, the chairman of GCOM, wrote during the course of the election to the chief elections officer about a whole set of names purportedly out of the jurisdiction and yet voted on election day. Following a whole set of names in GRO who were dead prior to March 2nd, 2020, and yet on the pink paper, the names were ticked off as having voted. The GRO wrote back saying, yes, these people would have been dead. The chief elections officer wrote back saying, yes, these people were out of jurisdiction. That is what Mr. Alexander meant when he said they were verified. And yet again, recently they asked for the list that ACNO submit. Clarence Singh supplied the list to the AG. Supplied the list. He didn't come back and talk about the list since then, you know. He didn't come back and say when the chief immigration said to him, but the list that he submitted, if he submitted it, he let him come back and guide his people and say, what happened to the list that he sent by GPO, with the dead people, by the GRO's office? But he comes back asking for, you must prove an instance. You got the list, you can prove us wrong. Prove that nobody who submitted on the dead, the list of the deads, in vote. Prove that nobody submitted on the list of the folks who overseas in vote. The ball is in the AG's court. They're in government. It's there running the GRO's office. It's their Jim's brother, Raymond Collins. One of Jim's brother, the bishop, is his brother running the GRO's office. They're in charge. The ball is in your court. You always supply with the names. And as Commissioner Vincent Alexander says there, the list was even more extensive. This last list than the one submitted initially to GCOM. The ball is in their court. Ball is in their court. Folks, we can pick up on this discussion with Commissioner Vincent Alexander on our podcast today. Until that time, stay safe, guys. Remember, it's our anniversary month. Credible, valid information. That's what we promise you, and that's what we bring in all the time. Credible, valid information. On that basis, folks, we encourage you, share the life for us so that other persons can get credible, valid information. Tag a friend and say, hey, this here Vincent telling me. Share the link, smash that emoji button for us, folks. Before you, hundreds of you are watching us around the world. Share the live for us, Annabelle Clement. Smash that emoji button, Joel Ward, Carol Rollins, Bill Anderson, Parmanan Shibnot. We see you here as well. And partner with us. This is how we do the work here. With your love, your support, and your generosity. That's how we do the work. If we look a little nice, it's because y'all have been so helpful to us. It's because of your support and your generosity. Partner with us in the information coming sweet. It's because of your love, support, and generosity. Partner with us, folks. That's how we keep going. Day after day, month after month, year after year. It's 2 years now we out here, folks. Valid, credible information. And Cash App, we're available. Zelle, PayPal, MMG, MoneyGram, and Western Union. You don't know if you ever subvention from numbers you wait long. Long. You have any queries? You want to place on that? You want to advertise with us? 627-6963. You need any guidance on how to partner with us? 627-6963. Every donation, folks. Keep the program going. Have a great day. We'll see you guys in the podcast at 12. That's our time. That's our program.